In this video, I will show you an example of marginal analysis. And in order for us to find the marginal revenue and profit functions, we first have to find the revenue and the profit functions. And the relation between the actual function and its marginal equivalent is that the marginal function can be approximated by the derivative of the original function. So that is, if we have a cost function given to us, the marginal cost will be can be found by differentiating the cost function. Marginal revenue can be found by differentiating the revenue function, and marginal profit can be found by differentiating the profit function. That's why to find the marginal revenue and profit, we have to find the actual revenue and profit functions. So let's focus on finding the revenue function. The revenue function represents the amount of money generated from selling X units. So in this case, we serve pasta and we're selling it for $1.10 per serving. That means if we serve X servings, we'll generate this much revenue. Now the profit function is the cost function taken away from the revenue. So the formula is revenue minus cost, and if my revenue is 1.10x, I take away the cost function, which is 350 plus 0.1x plus 0.002x squared. This can be simplified, so we have 1.10 minus 0.10 is just x, minus 350 minus 0.002x squared. Now, to find the revenue function with marginal revenue, we differentiate the revenue function. So the marginal revenue is 1.10. The meaning of marginal revenue is how much more money will be generated from the sale of additional item. So in this case, 1.10 makes sense because it's the price per serving. So for every additional serving, I'll be getting $1.1. And let's find the marginal profit function. It will be the derivative of the profit function. So we use the rules of differentiation to differentiate this function. And derivative of derivative of x is 1. Derivative of 350 is 0, and derivative of negative 0.002x squared is negative 0.004x. And the units here are dollars per serving. The meaning of this function is when X servings are served, the additional profit from the sale of X plus 1 serving will be equal to this much. Now we can move on to part B. Compute the revenue and profit, and also the marginal revenue and profit if you have produced and sold 200 servings of pasta. Interpret the results. So to compute the revenue and profit, we simply evaluate the revenue function at 200. That means we just have to multiply 1.10 by 200, which is equal to 220. The units here are dollars, and the interpretation for this number is the revenue generated from serving 200 servings of pasta. P of 200 will be 200 minus 350 minus 0.002 times 200 squared. So I'm going to use a calculator to compute this number. 200 squared times 0.002 minus 350 plus 200. So the amount I'm getting is negative 230. The units here are dollars, so the profit from serving 200 servings is negative 230, which is actually the loss. So we're not going to make any money by serving only 200 servings of pasta. To find the marginal revenue, we evaluate the derivative of r at 200, but the derivative of r was a constant, so it is always going to be 1.1. And now we can evaluate the derivative of the profit at 200, which will be the marginal profit function. So we plug in 200 into this formula, and we get the following results. So how do we interpret this number? Well, first of all, the units are dollars per serving. That means when we sell 200, when we serve 200 servings, the profit from the 201st serving will be only 20 cents. So now we can move on to part C, for which value of x the marginal profit is 0. So we'll literally interpret this question as the following equation. Marginal profit is 0 means the derivative of the function is equal to 0. So this corresponds to the following equation. And this is a simple linear equation which we can solve by isolating the x. So x is simply 1 over 0.004. Which is 250. And how do we interpret this result? First of all, the units here are servings, and this is how many servings must be served, so the marginal profit is 0. So that means if you serve more, your marginal profit will be either positive or negative. In this case it will be negative. If you serve less, it will be positive. But marginal profit indicates whether it is worth to produce and sell the additional item. So if the marginal profit is positive, that means we should produce and sell the additional item. If the marginal profit is negative, that means we shouldn't produce and sell the additional item. So when marginal profit is 0, that means we are producing and selling the optimized number of units that generate the maximum profit. In this case, this number will be 250. So now whether it is enough for us to make any money or not, that's a different question, but we answered the question asked in this problem.